the Acting Network, where we have a local feel with a global reach. Tonight, you're tuned into Out of Bounds with your host, me, T Rex. And we're on TAN TV. All right, so let's bring the crew right on in. Let's bring in the only other male on here so far. Let's bring in JP. Where you at, Jay? Hey, Jay, what's up, man?
Good evening, everyone. How are you? Uh,
Just fine, man.
JP
Just
is
seeing what's
with.
up with you.
Uh, this is uh, this is Seven Camuels uh,
Okay.
in lieu of our Halloween, so we will have a lot to discuss today.
Okay. Halloween sandals. Okay, that's a good one. Next, we're gonna bring in our Dre. Where you at, Dre? Come on in. Where you at?
Hey, 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 happy Halloween Eve. It's nice to see the family tonight.
Mhm.
That's good
That's
for you
good.
to
I,
see me
I
as
don't
well.
know if Nancy Pelosi. I don't know if Nancy Pelosi's wife was happy. Her husband's happy Halloween's coming. Like he got some hammering done.
That's true.
Unfortunately, unfortunately for him. All right, let's bring in Cheryl. Where you at, Cheryl?
Hello
Hey,
and
Cheryl.
happy mental health, everyone.
Yeah, that's fine. And last but not least, we're gonna call it Darla. Where you at, Grandma? Grandma number two. There you are. We having a baby yet?
We can't
She's a
hear you.
Can't hear you. Mute. Are you on mute? Are you mute?
I
We can hear
am. I'm
everybody.
so sorry. So I had myself on mute because I'm here with my little grandson. My daughter and her
Okay.
husband are at the hospital. It's my last week
Okay.
in North Carolina.
Okay. We about to
We're
have that
waiting for the baby
grandbaby
tomorrow.
today. All
Tomorrow.
right.
Should be
Good.
here tomorrow.
Good. Well, good. Today, I think we're going to talk about probably one of the most craziest things that people, men and women, talk about is relationships. And so, with that started, I think what kind of relationship we talking about? Just between black men and black women, or just anybody? But the question is, why are black men and black women uh, talking about each other in relationships? That's not a positive way. Anybody got something to bring that in with? I see. You know what, JP? You hold on a minute. When them ladies gonna get us, they go get us.
There's so
She's
much on
shaking
this
that head.
topic.
So,
So much.
so is it because we're having a hard time dating? Is that what it really is? I think you get a little bit older, especially as a man, and as being a black man, you get a little older. Um, you already know what type of woman you're looking for, and so you're not really looking for all the bells and whistles. You just want the meat and potatoes, I guess, if you see it like that. So is that the problem with with relationships with black men and women dating? Is it dating, or is it just that you full of all the crap that you went through before? Hun, darling, tell me, darling.
I was pausing because it sounded like Seven Camuels was gonna jump in there and say something, but yeah, I think it's difficult here in the dating pool right now. I'm single, the most single I've been in my entire life at this point, and I'm amazing. So I don't know what the challenge is, but it is rough in these streets, and I've heard this phrase this week twice. I'm gonna just say it again. I heard people say there's pee in the dating pool, which I think is hilarious. So I don't know. Maybe that's the problem.
P
What
in a
does
dating
Seven
pool.
have to say?
I don't know. Let's find out what Andrea got to
Well,
say.
yeah, I mean, I think like in reference to what you mentioned, Darla, I think it has a lot to do where the pool is at you're going to, right? So is this a community pool? Is this a private pool? Like where are you headed, like looking for these individuals? I'm not single. I am in a relationship, but I was married. So I'm divorced for about 3 years. So in that period of like going through a divorce and like looking to get into a new relationship, For me, it's like I'm not really looking for nobody right now. If somebody finds me, that's awesome. But I think that like it depends on where you're going to find these individuals. Like, are you going out to the nightclubs? Are you in the grocery store? Are you in a library? I think the environment that you're in and the network that you have definitely determines the kind of partner that you find.
Ooh,
Yeah, I agree
okay.
with that.
And Cheryl,
I agree with that
Cheryl, do you
totally.
agree with that?
Go ahead,
Cheryl.
Charlene. You had go ahead.
Oh, Darla,
Okay,
go
I
ahead.
agree with
Thank
that totally. And I think that right now, me as an individual, I'm not actively in a pursuit looking for someone. I'm in the space that you were describing earlier, that if I'm found, then that's phenomenal, right? But I'm not actively in pursuit trying to find a partner, but I'm very open to
Mhm.
that. I think my last relationship ended last year. I'm been divorced almost 12 years, and I just don't find that there's a lot of quality candidates out there. So I've tried dating sites, I've tried, everything in the past. Church, you meet people in your circle of friends, and there just don't seem to be a lot of quality candidates.
Mhm. All right, Cheryl, what do you
Also,
got to say?
if we're talking in a pool reference, I
You know,
think that sometimes I am too much in the shallow end. I need deep water.
Okay.
I'm an overthinker. I like politics. I like to talk about what's going on. And I do believe that sometimes people are just not well versed or they're not interested in going beyond their box. And that is very, it's limiting and boring. And it makes not, like Darla said, it just doesn't make for a good candidate.
What do you got to say, JP?
Well, we're going to stay with our since we're referring to pools. Uh, my bit of advice would be you got to learn how to swim before you jump in the pool.
Okay.
So you got to make sure that you know what you're doing when you get in the pool. I think a lot of men and women are drowning because they don't know how to swim. So learn how to
Say more
swim first.
words.
You know that
Say more words for the
Then
people in the
that's
back.
what you're not going to do is cut me off. Oh,
Oh, 7. Sorry.
Code 7.
let's stay in the pool. Yeah. Just learn how to swim before you get in the pool. That's the main
What does
thing.
that mean? What does that mean? You have to break that down, JP.
Well, I think I follow you, JP. Is that just the dating rules? Are they rules in dating?
Well, I think men and women. I'm trying to be nice here, but they don't have a strategy or a plan. They're just jumping into this pool without understanding the again, everyone's saying they know what they want, which is good, but what are the tools for attaining that? So you can say, hey, I want this and I want that and I want this, but okay, how do you go out and get it? Just jumping in the pool doesn't automatically mean that you're just going to get what you want. So I think some of the ladies on this panel have said some really good things of what kind of pool you're in, looking for where you are, knowing where you are. Are you in a pool? Are you in a lazy river? Are you in a wave pool? Are you in a kiddie pool? You gotta know where you're at and know where you want to be, and then you go and then you go into that and pursue that.
Well, I kind of agree with everybody. But I think the biggest thing that I see what's going on in dating right now today, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, is nobody understands the rules. We're just out there playing our game by our rules. And that necessarily doesn't mean that the person that we're interested in or the people that we're talking to are playing by those same rules of the game. So I think it has to be some kind of standard set for the rules of engagement when you're talking about a relationship. You just go out there and say, well, I'm going to find somebody. Well, before the old cliche was you got to have a credit score, got to have a good job, got to have a nice car, all these things. And those are just, material things that was put on top of somebody that's not necessarily true if if that's not what you're looking for. So I just think
So
that
what are
people
the
have to
rules?
give up. What's the rules? What the
Yeah.
rules are. I think the biggest rule is don't lie to yourself. That's the biggest rule. Because I hear all these new terms. Catfish and all these new terms. You've been catfished and all that. Don't lie to yourself. I mean, if you're a woman and you're 60 and you look 60, don't say you're 55. Be honest. I mean, yeah, everybody wants to be younger than what they are. They're gonna get a little darker makeup or whatever they're gonna do to make themselves look. And me myself, I used to dye beard, so yeah, I agree with people. But if you want an open, honest relationship, you gotta let that gray show. And if you're a lady, you gotta let your mistakes show. We should learn from every relationship on to our next relationship. So all the relationships we have, we didn't learn anything from that. I call that insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and guessing what, hoping to get a different result. And you're not. You're not.
I want to jump
So go ahead, Cheryl.
because I think that what you're saying is true. But I think a lot of times people are not even knowing who they are before they're even lying to themselves. So I do agree with that. But also, as we were discussing in our planning meeting, that we're not connecting. And if we're not connecting, there is no relationship. So if we can't find each other, we're not connected, we don't know who we are, where are we going? So there is no relationship building when you don't know who you are and you don't know what you want. What makes me the most angry is someone tries to get in or start some kind of dating situation, not necessarily a relationship, but dating. And they don't care about you. They have some other hidden motive that you don't even know about. So the honesty piece and knowing what you want and knowing how to swim before you get in the pool, these are tools that need to be implemented before you even go out there and call yourself trying to find someone or be found.
I heard
I
something
agree
really
with you.
interesting on
Well,
TikTok.
hold on, Darla. I'm gonna come right back to you. I'm gonna take a quick station break. Hello, TAN TV, the African American Network, where we have a local feel with a global reach, and right you with Out of Bounds with me and my crew. Here we go. Go ahead, Darla.
Thank you. I heard this TikTok a couple weeks ago where this guy was talking about that you're either one of two things. Either you are a type, like, somebody's type. People are looking for that type, right? And that's why, so you'll meet people and you're that type. And if you're a type that a lot of people like, you're going to get a lot of play. If you're not a type that, some people like, you're going to get some play. But if you don't fall into a stereotypical category, then you have to be in a position where people can get to know you and then kind of like accidentally fall in love with you or in like with you in order to want to date you further. I thought that was a really interesting and probably accurate perspective. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, everybody has a type, right? Like, you like tall men, you like short men, you prefer men who are educated, you prefer men that work with their hands, whatever that is. So I think I'm not really buying into that so much because everybody has their like a preference, right? So you're
Yeah.
never going to be everybody's cup of tea. Everybody isn't going to, you're not going to fit into this perfect box where everybody feels like you're dateable or you match me. And I think that's why it's called dating, because you date people to figure out, is this the person that I like? No, he talks too much. I don't have time for that. or he doesn't like to go out and do activities. He's only a homebody. So that we're just not meant for each other because we're living two different lifestyles, or the activities I want to be involved in you're not in. I'm in a sorority. So if I'm dating somebody and he's in a fraternity, like we get that lifestyle because we're doing similar activities. And so if you can't get with the program because I got a chapter meeting every first Saturday and every second Saturday is a community service, then we're not compatible in that.
Yeah, but per the TikTok, he's saying that some people are just more people's type. Like I have a niece that many of you have met, and she's a lot of people's type. because she's got blue eyes and light skin and beautiful hair and a cute little body. You know, she doesn't even have to open her mouth before people want to date her. Whereas somebody else, you know, might be more average and not attracting people, and not because they're not necessarily attractive, but they just don't fall into what I would call a more stereotypical category of type. You know, some people are type, and I think Black women, we are the least celebrated women on the planet, and then the darker we are, the more less exotic that we are, then the less we are people's type stereotypically.
Well, I think we all have psychological problems when it comes to dating. And I'm not a psychiatrist, but I know a few, and I've talked to a few. So all I can say about this dating thing is that when you get out there and you date, if you're not being honest with yourself and with the other person, then you're just going to meet totally crazy. And then you get away from just meeting a total perfect person and you meet some psycho. You know, we all met them. Well, you know, one week you're friends, you go out for a couple of weeks, you know, for drinks or something, and 2 weeks later, you're getting married and you don't even know what's happening in it. You're like, why am I getting married? Who said I was getting married? So we have to understand. I think the best thing that I can say, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong in your opinion, that you have to have guidelines in this. I say it 100 times in different ways, but it's still the same thing. You gotta have an outline of what you're gonna do when you date. Hey, darling, want to go out for coffee? We go out for coffee. We talk. Well, me and Darla know each other, so we have that social structure already. But now Darla brings along Cheryl, and Cheryl and I bumped into each other. We really don't know each other. Now Darla's trying to fix us up, and we have no idea how to get it started. I mean, because I know Cheryl right away. Cheryl don't take no mess, fellas. Cheryl will tell you, hey, step it. If you ain't coming correct, you got to step. Am I right, Cheryl? Am I right?
You are correct.
So all I got to say is if that was a relationship right there, you know, and I'm looking to talk to someone and Darla says, I got a friend, she's perfect for you. And then I go out there and then I go out there with some flim flam. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. So I know everybody's a dating guru and all that, but I really think this is an important topic because I think somebody needs to tell everybody the truth so we can figure out. Nobody wants to die alone, you know, and I am getting older. I don't want to die alone. You know, do I buy a dog or
Definitely get a dog.
Trap one of them donkeys out back, make that my best friend? I don't know. So,
The topic at hand really is about Black women and Black men and how we're not connected. I really don't. I know this may sound terrible. I really don't care about anybody else. I care about my community and us connecting and moving forward with things.
okay.
And as we were discussing in our planning meeting, and we were really bouncing off of each other on this topic, and I'm really missing Virgil right now, what he was bringing to the table. Hopefully he'll join us in the next few minutes. But we really have just got to hone in on why is it that we as a community are having such a hard time. We have a shared culture. We have shared values, hopefully. You know, we understand each other. I don't have to explain my hair to a Black man on what I got to do and what this takes to look like this. There's all these things that we have in common and a good foundation, but yet we are still struggling, me included.
Really?
Still a struggle.
Really, Cheryl? Because some Black men, they do require that explanation, and some white men don't. You know, I'm finding more and more that white men find us more palatable and attractive and like just regular Black girls, you know, just the regular brown skin chicks. Whereas Black men, and maybe this is a lot for California as well, because as I'm here in North Carolina, I'm getting a lot more hey shorties and, you know, looks thrown my direction than in California. But in California, I don't know. I think the type of Black men that you and I, we have a similar type. That pool is very limited in California.
Well, I would say, first of all, I think I'm everyone's type. It's not many of us are there like that.
I hate to tell you that, brother, but you're not my type. You're not my type, man. You're not.
Every woman's type. Yes.
All right, there you go. Let's straighten that up.
I think the key that we're missing, we're touching on a lot of things. We're setting up rules, and we're setting up, what we like and don't like. But I think we need to just talk about how we can better communicate that to the other person. If T Rex alluded to earlier, but if FICO score and monetary issues and aspirations are big on your rules, I feel that you should communicate that early in your relationship. Get that out of the way. I think a lot of times people mask things that they feel that are on their rules because they're trying to kind of force this connection with someone. But I think you should just, we should do a better job communicating all of our likes, all of our dislikes, put it all out there, and then have that open dialogue that will enhance our dating experience.
Well, let me
But are we
ask you
even getting
guys,
that far? We're
do
not
you
getting
guys
that
make a
far.
list? Do you guys make a list of like what you want in a partner? So that way you don't have to go through this slow process of like figuring out who that individual is. You can have that first conversation on day one. Do you believe in God? Do you have a college education? Do you have a savings account? Not even how much is in it, but just that kind of basic foundation, of where we're going to go in the future. Like I have a list, and my partner and I, when we first got together, we talked about it, just to make sure that we were both meeting each other's needs before we wasted each other's time.
Mhm.
So mature.
That is mature. I
I love
like
it.
that.
I love
I
that.
like
Very
that.
mature.
Well, how
And I
did you guys meet, Drea?
Oh, we met years ago as undergrads, and then 2004, 2005, and then we actually reconnected in 2019 at
Mhm.
a party. So, but we
Yeah, I
had to
remember.
go through
I remember
life
that.
and then get reconnected, and it was awesome.
Well, maybe Cheryl can relate to me, but I'm finding that it's even hard now to get guys to ask you to dance when you're at a party. They don't even want to do that. And they'll call you at 10 o'clock. I got a call at 10 o'clock Friday night. Hey, what you doing? It's 10 o'clock Friday night, buddy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Thanks for the late night inquiry in booty call zone. No,
We,
but we can't even
uh,
get you to ask us to dance at a party. What's up with that? So I really want to get back to what the rules are. I don't think I ever really heard that.
I just think you got to set the rules. You got to set them for yourself. I mean, I don't think anyone can set rules for someone else, but you got to set your boundaries. Where you going to go? Are you going to go all the way out of bounds, or you going to stay within your structure? And that's how you have to look at it. I mean, I'm not like I said. I can tell you what to do to ruin a relationship, but I can't tell you how to find one. So, but my whole thing on this whole scenario is simply this: if you're dating, let's go with Cheryl. You're dating a black woman, and that's not what you want. Then why are you dating this woman? Why waste her time? If you're dating a man that has 3 kids and you don't want to have kids, then why are you going this route? Then you can narrow it down. I think it's got to be so. I mean, I was in the Navy, so we always said keep it simple, stupid, and that's what you have to do. Just meet, sit down, and keep it simple. Keep it very simple. I think we shouldn't always look for the person that we're going to date today or tomorrow as a long-term dating situation. It might end up a day, it might end up 2 weeks, it might end up a month, but it's not the when you meet a person, it's not the answer to all your questions in that one person. So, and I think you have to have a lot of compromise. You got to have a lot of compromise because Lord have mercy. You get out there and you say you don't want no woman with no gray hair. You don't want a man with no gray hair. Ooh, and there's some young cats out there and young ladies out there with gray hair because somebody out there stressed them out. So I just think that you have to reevaluate you. And then when you put yourself out there, either through friends or through a dating site or whatever, say exactly what you're looking for. Hey, I'm looking to get married and I want to be with one person. And if you can deal with that, then we can work everything else out and work it out. Instead of saying, understand. What instant? Oh, I ride
It's
horses.
so simple. It is not this simple, Terry. It is not this simple. And I think
sure isn't.
all the women can relate to it. It ain't that simple. You know how many times
ain't
I've
that
laid out
simple.
the rules, how many times I've laid out my boundaries, how many times I've told them my standards, and they're like, and then day 2, they already messing up. So I don't know how you can be more clear about what you want, and then they're still not communicating or masking who they really are. So it's this constant trying to figure out where someone is without, I don't know, losing yourself, getting too upset and not too invested, you know. But the next time we have our podcast, I really want to talk about the original topic we talked about in strategy meeting, which was Black women doing the work. See, I want to get into that part next week.
See, I have a PowerPoint, Andrea. Not even just a list. I have a 5-slide PowerPoint.
Okay.
I do.
Awesome.
Doing
And that
work.
means that
Black
you're
women doing work.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that
What
means
kind of
you're
black women?
intentional
What
though.
kind of work?
We work on ourselves.
kind of
We
black-
try to make sure that we're healed from our prior relationships, that we take responsibility and look at, you know, what went wrong in that last relationship? Where can I take accountability? What should I do next time? Am I being the person that I'm meant to be and meant to be in a relationship? I know we're doing these things because we discuss it. Cheryl and I have discussed it. You know, we discuss these things, and we are coming up with the evidence. You know, we move on all of the things that Black women are the highest educated women, right? Or the highest educated group, not even just women, because we move and take action in these areas, but we're still coming up the shortest. Why is that?
Well, that is
Someone,
a major question. But
I hear
producer
someone's
just came up
asking if
with
we're
something.
rushing into relationships.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
Are we rushing to a relationship
Yeah, I
because we're
agree.
lonely? Are we rushing because we have nothing to do? What are we rushing? I mean,
Yeah,
what's so
no,
big about a
definitely not
relationship?
rushing.
No, I'm not even
You know, I
you
mean,
even have 2 consecutive dates where you called at an appropriate time to ask me.
mhm.
You know, I accepted.
Don't call somebody at
When we
don't call somebody at
today,
2 in the morning time. Hey, what you doing? I'm in the neighborhood.
no one,
Right.
I don't feel like I'm rushing into anything.
Yeah, definitely not
Okay.
rushing. I know
Well,
that
it's like
Yeah, I
we
don't
had
for
to
feel
both
that
of
way.
us.
But good question though.
we're gonna have to
from the
structure it a
person.
little bit down. This is gonna be a weekly. This could probably be a monthly discussion so that we can take our time on it. But we only have a certain amount of time today, so I want to thank all the viewers who tuned in to TAN TV, the African American Network. We have a local reach, and I definitely want to say hello to everybody who tuned in and started watching the first segment on Out of Bounds with me on dating, Black men and Black women dating, because I don't think this is something we can talk about in 30 minutes. I think this is something that's going to have to continue and grow and continue to get the knowledge on. So with that being said, Darla, give me some closing points from yourself here. What you got going on with you other than the new grandbaby coming?
So excited. I do want to just make sure that the viewer is addressed. Definitely not rushing. I think that was an excellent question. I think at this point in life, me personally, I can say that I'm clear. I have my PowerPoint, took the time to do that.
Mhm.
Very clear about the things I'm looking for. I'd really like to just get to know people. And that seems to be a difficult thing to do. It just to even get in that position where you can really just start to get to know people.
Okay.
So I'm looking for that. I'm excited to continue this conversation.
I think it's going to be a good conversation. What do you think, Andrea? You the only one with somebody, so we just gonna ask you tell us what to do because we don't know.
Well, it goes back to like I mentioned before, making that list. We both had our lists and we came together and talked about our lists and what we wanted in a partner. And it's about to be 2 years and we're doing great. You know, of course, every relationship has road bumps, but for us, it's just communicating and talking it out.
Okay, all right, sure. Let me hear. It's gonna be good.
I love quotes. So I wanted to give a quote as my ending tonight.
Okay.
And you, everybody out there who's watching us, we really appreciate it. Oh, we have 30 seconds. Uh-oh.
Go
The
ahead. Go
biggest
ahead.
power of a man is to awaken the love of a woman without the intention of loving her. And that is Bob Marley.
Okay, Bob Marley. Smoking a little of that ganja. I'm all right with that part. All right, JP. Tell me about what you think on the closing minutes.
Just set your values high. Get high value woman. Man, women, get your high value man and live your life.
I agree. I think the biggest problem with dating is sex. Everybody wants sex, but nobody wants sex. You know, not meaning everybody. You're dating for that reason, but you're dating with that hope that it happens. So, with that being said, tune
To be
in next
continued.
week where we're going to be really good about this, because I'm sure when we tune off, it's going to happen. We're going to have a great show, and we're going to come back next week and tell you everything we said off the record. So, hey, well, thank you for tuning in. This is T-Rex, and this is TAN TV, the African American Network, where we have a local feel with a global reach. And this is my crew, the crew of Out of Bounds with me, T-Rex. Peace, everybody.